Okay, well, I'm Nikki, and me and Rosie, who's on here, and Artemio, were looking at Trichoderma and the volatile compounds within it and how it affected different things in forest health. We were testing on the Phytophthora pluvialis to see how these compounds, whether they could be fungicidal or fungistatic against it, and same with the Dothostroma. At the end, we also had a go with the Agathodicida, since we were seeing such good results, just to see. And the idea behind this came from Artemio is doing similar with agricultural disease down there at Lincoln. So what we did was we got samples of each of the pathogens, and we tested them in two different ways. We tested it by mixing in the volatile into the agar itself for an indirect test, for a direct test, and using antibacterial discs to be testing as though it's being dispersed, an indirect test. We started that just with I think it was 8 different volatiles, and then quickly we're able to see that some were going to be a bit too volatile. They were able to corrode through the petri dishes, so that wasn't going to work. And when we got it down further, the best ones we were finding, the best 3 were 6, 7, and 8. So what we did was continue doing further testing with 6 and 7 and 8 to see how that would affect at lower concentrations as well.
I think I'm going to go for a run after all the excitement.
And sorry, couldn't quite hear that.
What's it like out there?
And then sorry, hearing a bit of noise. We then, experiment that I've got up here, it's showing that this was done with discs, and then by day 14 we took out the discs because that was going to be a way of testing whether the volatiles were static or cidal, and we actually were able to continue this one on for quite a while, 35 days, as it went over the Christmas break. And we were quite surprised even that I think it was near about 27, 28 days, volatile 8, actually the pluvialis started growing again. So that was quite surprising. So what we're going to do next is moved on to, we've tested 6 a lot by itself. The next thing is going to be to test 7. And we've got the Emulate funding to go on and do further testing now that we're narrowing down which concentrations and which volatiles are working well. For the report that we're doing here for BPRC, we're doing some simple statistical analysis, but because the whole platform is going alongside the project that Artemio's got going on in Lincoln, we're going to do further statistical analysis all in line and all together, so there's a lot more comparing that can be done. Yeah, that's me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nikki. That was very clear. I'll ask anybody online if you've got any questions. Some of you have been muted, so maybe not.
I was hearing quite a few random bits and noises. I wasn't sure of questions. That's why I kept pausing, sorry.
That's okay. Any questions from the current audience in this room?
None from me, thanks, Phil.
Yeah. That was an early one.
Hopefully that means I made it nice and straightforward.
Nikki, one question I wanted to ask is, what do you think the mechanism is?
the mechanism.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, from some of the things we're reading, it was looking like it was getting in and stopping it on an enzyme level, like it was looking like it was going through, but I honestly haven't researched as much. We'd have to wait until we were putting it on the needles as well, I think, to see. Yeah.
Brian's got a question.
Your top 3 volatiles, any of those like known to be especially toxic? I mean, do they have potential for future use in terms of spraying around the place?
Yes, there's, as I said, we've got rid of the most toxic ones and narrowed out a few more, and there is quite a possibility for at least 1 or 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it could be good. Rosie would know more, but yeah, it should be good.
Okay.
We're really following Artemio's lead on some of these volatiles, but some of the ones in his list, yeah, were highly toxic to aquatic life, so we avoided using those ones. Yeah, we don't want to be using those in forests, that's for sure.